Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today, driving home from another day of work. Today it was announced. I think we all saw the rumors coming about a week ago. NBC and WWE have announced that Primetime Specials Saturday night's main event is making its return to NBC. I have a lot of memories growing up watching Saturday night's main event. When I was a kid, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Dusty Rhodes, the Ultimate Warrior. I can remember like the glory days of, NBC, being very happy with the relationship with WWE. Of course, I was a kid. I was not an Observer subscriber. I don't know what the ratings were. I do remember the main event, where it wasn't on Saturday nights, late night, taking over for Saturday Night Live. It was Hulk Hogan against Macho Man Randy Savage. That's, of course, where Ted DiBiase paid for the plastic surgery and made two Hebner twins to have a good brother and a bad brother. One, count the three when Hulk Hogan had kicked out, awarding the Tag Team Championship to Andre the Giant. You had to have watched the show in order to get that joke. It was not that very funny, but for some reason, Andre the Giant announced himself the World Tag Team Champion after beating Hulk Hogan on that show. But that one did like monstrous numbers. That was probably like the biggest, most popular that wrestling has ever been. People can say what they want to about the Attitude Era and the war with Nitro. That night, more people watched wrestling than any other time there's ever been in the history of wrestling. Them being on primetime television, KCRA, Channel 3 here in Sacramento, that was a big, big deal. They treated it like it was a football event, and they made wrestling look mainstream and badass. I also remember when NBC cut ties with Saturday night's main event, and the WWF sold Saturday night's main event to Fox. I believe they only did two specials. One set up WrestleMania 8. One was when they did the Intercontinental title switch between the British Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. I believe that was right before Survivor Series when they did that one, and at that point they decided that like wrestling had dipped too much. It wasn't even worth to have wrestling late night on Fox television. But I'm pumped for this. I am worried about a certain couple of things. The date they got, December 14th. We're not in the glory days. We are, one day out from being, in the 2 weeks of Christmas, I guess you could say. We're 11 days out. But you got to be thinking people are going to be having Christmas parties. People are going to be doing this, that, and the other. You also got to think about in the history of internet wrestling fans, they aren't going to be taping this show live. It's going to be taped. Spoilers are going to get out. How many people are going to read the spoilers and decide that they're not going to watch the show anymore? It is a late night event for some people out there. I can remember when they brought Saturday night's main event back. I want to say roughly this is like WrestleMania 22, maybe WrestleMania 23. They did one where it was the Raw main event tag team against the SmackDown main event. It was a 2-on-3 event. I think it was Triple H and Cena against Orton, Mysterio, and Angle. I think that's what it was. They did a few of these to the point where it was starting to get bad ratings not for wrestling, but bad ratings for NBC. It was like one of the worst primetime specials that ever aired, to the point where they still had to do shows because they had a contract for them, that they just basically started putting lesser names on the shows to not hurt the name value of the main event stars. I can remember like one of the Saturday night's main event was built up by like an ECW Halloween Brawl. It was like the Monsters Bash, if I remember right. I'm hoping I'm not confusing it with a different show on Sci-Fi, but it was like Viscera versus the Great Khali versus Kane. There might have been somebody else in there, and it was just a freak show, and it wasn't anything that a major wrestling fan wanted to watch, or a fringe wrestling fan that was just flipping through the channels. It was like, oh, I used to watch Hulk Hogan back in the day. Let's see what's going on with wrestling. They're never going to watch wrestling again after seeing that crap. But that's what I fear. I fear if it gets a bad rating, then, you know, it's going to just add fuel to the AEW versus WWE fans. They go back and forth. They can't support, you know, liking two companies. They have to have one foot in the sand on one side of the line. And then AEW fans say that, like, the WWE show got a bad rating. They don't deserve to be there. If they would have been there, it would have been a much better show. I just think it's going to fuel the fire like that. I don't really see any chance. They could do Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I don't think they're going to do a big number. I think that it's going to be a lesser number than what they get for Monday Night Raw, because of the fact that it's on a major, you know, free channel, I guess you can say. It should do more. I don't think it's going to. That's what scares me. I'm really excited. There are things they can do if they have Jessie Ventura there, even if he has to like read off of cue cards while he's doing announcing. That would do huge things for me as a wrestling fan from back in the day. I can remember back in 2009 or 10 when he was the Raw guest host and he did the commentating with Vince on the main event. It was a battle royal of guys that had never held the WWE Championship to crown the new #1 contender. That was won by Sheamus. That was fun. People said that he had to basically have flashcards out of pictures of people to know what to call them, so he wouldn't mess the names up, because he wasn't a wrestling fan anymore, didn't know who the guys were. But I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be fun for me. I just am worried about what the backlash is going to be. But it should be huge. They should stack the deck. They should have, just basically just about anybody. Judgment Day, Roman Reigns, Liv Morgan, Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley. Just basically the guys that are on the poster that are out there. They got to make sure the biggest stars are out there. And hopefully, with this being in December, it can kick them, and start a wave of a buzz towards the Royal Rumble that pushes them towards WrestleMania. And hopefully, in the end, wrestling is bigger and better in the end. But I don't know, man. I'm worried. Peace out.